Hello, friends, and welcome to Old Man's Mountain Sunday Cookoff Party Jamboree. I'll be your old man today. I'll be playing the role of old man today. I do plan to start some cooking here pretty soon. I was pretty disappointed, I would say, by the job that Opus Clips did of clipping out shorts from my live stream, but I was also noting that I'm pretty disappointed in my own inability to maintain a fluid line of thought for very long enough to create a short worth clipping, really. So, of course, it depends on the specific instance of live streaming in upload, which I upload to the AI, but I don't know. It just didn't seem worth it to me. My plan for the day here, afternoon, is to do a little live streaming, to do a little cooking, to do a little bit of watching of the Olympics as well. I need to mute it, obviously, so that I don't get in trouble with the copyright police. But hello, Mean Bird. But what I do know is that I, Eric, King of the World, am super important. Hi, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Happy Sunday indeed. Hawker Combinator, Kerr Inger Brigsten. These are the people who are running this race. It was the first of two semifinals for the men's 1500 meters. It's not happening currently on the TV. I have time saved up because I like to, skip ahead past the boring stuff, including commercials and so forth. We'll be moving into the kitchen pretty soon. Don't worry. Don't worry your pretty little heads about it. I am, after all, here to please. So, we'll just have to see exactly what the afternoon entails, but I'm hopeful that we can accomplish something. Fanny says, OMG, your voice. Well, I don't know if I should say thank you or not, Fanny, but I'll go ahead and interpret that in a positive fashion. Say thank you. All right, this cat apparently wants more cat food. He's meowing demandingly at me, so let's accommodate the cat. See, we've got some cat food here in this bag, and we shall pour some of it onto the cat's plate. We'll put the split back on it to keep it from getting stale, because cats, like people, don't like stale food. Now let's take a look at the cat and see what we see. There he is, eating in all of his feline glory, chewing with his mouth, swishing his tail about to reveal to us his varying emotions. Well then, thank you, Fanny. Jerry, hello. Nice to meet you. Welcome to California. Ed S., hello. Nice to meet you as well. Welcome to California. Welcome to my kitchen. The set of Old Man's Mountain Cooking Party Cook-Off Celebration Excitement Time Show. Or whatever you want to call this. basically, Eric makes lunch is another way to call this. Okay, so let's put this where? Where are we going to position the camera? I think here is good. At least it's not bad, but I'll have to speak up a bit to get on the piano. Please some music or in the background. Hi, Lori G. Well, Ed, I tell you what, I will sing you some music while I'm beginning the first stages of cleaning / cooking here. I'll take frequent breaks to check on the chat. But for the moment, let me just prioritize making a little progress here. We get this light on, we get this light on, we'll turn this light on. And got a little bit of countertop cleaning that I need to do here. I see. I'll just wetten this with moisture. Swoosh the bits of stuff over here. Bits of potato chip, for example, you might have gathered here on the countertop. We'll move these breakfast pastries up here as well to free up as much countertop as possible for our cooking process. Okay, that's fine. Everyone was super happy with that. We've got our pan here. We'll be using this. This is already clean, this pan, so there's no cleaning of that that's necessary. I think I'm going to be making rice here as an accompaniment to whatever meat I put in. Probably I'll once again go with ground beef. Here's my rice pot. Also clean, ready to go. So, we've done the pre-cooked clean already. Let's take a break. Yes, we need to take that many breaks. Hey, Trouble, be nice. And in case you forgot, this is Old Man's Hi Ashish Gupta. Any advice for a breakup, huh? You know, same advice that anybody would give you, which is time heals all wounds. Or there are plenty of fish in the sea. But it really depends on how old you are to some extent and how long you've been with the person. And how the breakup went down as to how traumatizing it's going to be for you long term, you know? So the thing is, this is Old Man's Mountain Cook-Off, so we have to spend a little bit of time outside demonstrating that we're in the mountains. I'm 25. Well, that's really rough, Ashish. I'm 25, been with her for 10 years, never been with anyone else, she cheated. Ouch. That's very rough. Obviously, that's the worst way for a relationship to end, is if one partner cheats on the other. Especially if you guys are like childhood sweethearts, basically. Have any advice for that? Just try your best to minimize the amount that it damages the health of your future relationships. It will impact them negatively, unavoidably. But in the best case scenario, you're able to afford as much trust as you can to future partners who don't deserve to be, who don't deserve for you to treat them like they were the ones who did that to you, you know? But you're kind of gonna unavoidably treat them like that. Alright, so now I'm going to go pee. You cannot watch me go pee, but you can know that I am. Hi, Cameron. You're doing a front motor swap on your electric scooter. Yeah, the bottom line is eventually you will get with somebody else. Right now, you're just suffering the sorrow of the breakup and the infidelity and so forth. Eventually, you'll return to the world of dating, romance, whatever you want to call it. And when you do, the easy trust you afforded your first relationship partner there won't exist anymore. You're gonna be suspicious, perhaps unreasonably so, perhaps unfairly so. It just follows from the trauma. I'm not cooking a mountain, no, but that is it's a good way to interpret what is happening here. I think that, well, it's not an unreasonable interpretation of the title. I think it's pretty clear the title is meant to mean that the cook-off is in the mountains. It does not involve cooking any mountains. It's good to go urine. If you're like me, you drink a fair amount of liquids. Obviously, more liquids than my body needs. Because if my body needed all of the liquids that I consume, then I wouldn't have to pee out so many of them. I guess I like to drink liquids more than I need to. Because I don't know why. I guess, it's good to wash food down. But even when you're not eating food, it's good for the purposes of, let's say you pull a bong rip and you kind of made your throat scratchy. It's good for soothing your throat in that fashion. Some drinks taste good, so just like this continual addition of flavor into your mouth. What was that? I don't know if a big branch from a tree fell down, or if there's a largish creature down there, like a deer or a bear. But I don't see anything, but the noise came from down there behind all those trees where I can't really see anyway. So, I guess let's go with Sasquatch as an explanation, That seems like a fine enough explanation. My little Sasquatch has the sweetest smile. Okay, I'm back. I'm back from urinating. I'm back from yearning for tomorrow. Old man's just going to be cooking some, old man's just going to be cooking some rice with some meat on top of it. Do we need bear spray? No, we don't need any bear spray. Have a happy day, gentleman. Thanks, either Korea or Japan. If Japan, moshi moshi, Ohio, wakata, wakarimashita. So desu ka. Also, let me just add, itadakimasu. All right, let's get started on the lunch. Looks like Rachel's awake, so it's a good cue to start lunch. She's gonna want to eat. I'm gonna want to eat. Oh, she's already eating cereal.
But I'm gonna have some rice too, if that's okay.
Sure, that's fine. Looks like the Ukrainian won the high jump. It would appear. Okay. What are we gonna need to do first? Well, if we're gonna be cooking rice and something else, we're gonna need at least 2 ingredients. Ingredient 1 being rice, ingredient 2 being something else. In this case, let's begin with the rice. Now, I normally don't use this scooper for the rice, but it'll work. Question is that 1 cup of rice? Well, that's pretty close. Pretty close, but maybe a little shy. Look at it here. Yeah, I could use a few more grains, or as I like to call them, kernels. A few more kernels of rice. So now that we've got the exact right number of kernels of rice, point out anything in me that offends you and lead me along the path of everlasting life. Point out anything in me that offends you and lead me along the path of everlasting life. What do I think of that verse? Who's saying it? Who's the speaker of that? Well, look. These are special rices, Ed asks. They're made out of pure elephant.
How does the elephant make them?
A great way to make rice is to let it soak for 10 minutes, put a bit of butter in the cooker, and scrape off a teaspoon. Oh, God. You're gross. You're always gross. You know, it's like, I recognized your name, and I was like, this seems unusually normal for him. So, what does the cookout contain for sustenance? Well, we've got elephant rice here, and we're going to put that into this pot. Like that. With a pouring motion. Did you see that? That's pretty. What does it sound like? There's still rice in here. Or not? Okay, there. I'm cooking off against myself, okay? But a previous me, okay? Alright, now with rice, you want to put twice as much water as rice. Okay, this is 2 cups of water, 1 cup of rice. We're going to pour. Alright, next we're going to get a tool to jostle it around and make sure that it all is evenly distributed around the bottom of the pan. There. Pot, I mean. Bottom of the pot. Alright, that's fine. I don't really need to wash that. I just did a little jostling with it. I'll use it later anyway, so don't need to put that on. Next, we're going to turn this on for 20 minutes. No, well, first we'll turn it on for 8 minutes. That's for it to just come to a boil. I don't wash my rice. Some people do that. I just never have, and I don't know. Some people say yes, some people say no. You've been telling yourself to buy a rice cooker for the past 3 years? I don't know. I just always cook rice like this, so for me, because I know how to do it this way, a rice cooker seems harder because I don't know how to do it that way. You get the water boiling first. Okay, well this is the way that my mom taught me how to cook rice, and she just said you start with it like this with 2 cups of water for 1 cup of rice, and that you cook it so it comes to a hard boil, and then you reduce the flame to low. You put the lid on it and cook it for 20 minutes. Is what my mom said. Now the thing is, with this rice up here at a little bit of altitude, it takes a little longer to cook things. So I do 23 minutes rather than 20 minutes. Once I reduce it to low heat, and it always comes out fine. Sir, how is your appetite? You do not seem hungry. You do not. I'm assuming that means seem hungry. My appetite's fine. I'm hungry. I'm looking forward to eating. There's no leftover rice water. Okay? There's no such thing. The way that I cook it. Yes, of ancestry, yes, I'm of German ancestry. But racially, I'm fluidly transracial. So I've always cooked it this way, and I know that different people have different ways of cooking rice, different amount of time, different, whether you boil the water first, whether you wash the rice first. But I've never done it any way other than this. So, if you start with like in a pan like this with water already in there, then you're working on like a risotto, right? You just got to kind of stir it the whole time, and eventually it'll get some kind of mushy done. But if you want your classic kind of Asian style white rice, well, I don't know. I don't really know what my ancestry.com or whatever is. I've never done anything like that. I wouldn't mind doing something like that, but I think it'd be fun too. Yeah, maybe I should do that. I could make a YouTube video about it and stuff. Yes, we did get all the flyers posted, but I've concluded, since it does mean ostrich, yes. I concluded that we ought to lower the replace them with flyers that say $2,200 a month. Don't mention the trash or the water, because people are going to be scared off by that, not really understanding that it's the same price, If and then I might need to tell them, like, okay, well, hello, Moise Khan. Do I think if I were Jewish, I'd be more sympathetic to Israel? No. No, definitely wouldn't be more sympathetic to anybody because I'm right? It's like I'm sympathetic to what is correct. Not yet. We just put them up yesterday, and we only put up 5 flyers. But I think what we should do is what I just said. I bet if we listed it at 2,200, even though the reality is it's the same amount, but they're going to have to pay for the trash and the water themselves potentially. Then I think we get a lot more action on it. I might even put it at 2,150. I don't know. But we have to fix the flyer and go replace it, I think.
What do we have to replace, possibly?
Well, I was thinking we'd be better served to just put it up at 2,200 and not mention anything about the garbage and water, and then discuss that with prospective tenants,
Yeah, I know. We thought it was going to be a draw, but the reactions that we've gotten
It's just
showing people.
It's just the number. People want it as close to $2,000 as possible.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So we'll put it at 2,150, I think.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because even the woman at the grocery store, she's like, "Oh, is it on a lot of land?"
Yeah, it's been a lot of acres. So.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I understand that it's. And the thing is, we never wanted to price it at 2,350.
No.
I was just saying, if we're gonna price it at 2,200, might as well include the water and the trash.
Right.
It'd be better for us if people would take that, because then I can reliably know that they're getting their trash taken away and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. So, do you want to do that this coming week?
Yeah, I mean, maybe even this evening.
Honestly, I'm down to do it this evening if you'd like to do.
Yeah, well, we just gotta cook some food first,
Sure. I just had a craving for the cereal when I woke up.
That's fine, darling. Favorites? Go ahead, sure. Does modern society need more stoicism? Need it for what? Stop kissing boys, Laws Phillips says before. I don't have any boys that I kiss, I'm sorry.
You don't actually.
Not
even trouble.
Not even trouble, yeah. You need permits to hunt. You might need a hunting permit for shooting deer or something, but you could probably get away with it around here. You went out hunting into the Sierra Nevada National Forest. When I drove out with Cameron down to it's called the Savage Lundy Trailhead, we saw a sign that said, no shooting within within meow, which basically meant yes, you can shoot around here as long as it doesn't run afoul of one of these exceptions that we've listed here. So, people do go out there and hunt. We do hear people going out and apparently hunting. Sometimes we hear people shooting, apparently. The difference being people fire a lot more bullets when they're shooting than when they're hunting. Five, 10, 15, 20, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 23 minutes on that. How can an ITP be more productive? I don't know. I mean, I'm having a hard enough trouble making myself be more productive. Although, it felt like a good month in terms of productivity.
Yeah, Yeah.
frankly. It felt like a good bottle's worth of productivity. Right, what am I going to cook as the meat? Okay, I'm going to do ground beef. So for this ground beef then, I'm going to put it in some water because it needs to defrost, you know. And put this lid on here. I'll turn this up to high. We'll just let that what's the word when you cook something in a small amount of sous vide? Well, that's sous vide. Yeah, I don't think that's actually sous vide, but whatever. That's the word I was looking for. Sometimes I worry about my mental acuity, whether or not like I'm gonna get old and get dementia, or whether I'm getting dementia or something. I have a little bit of psychosomatic paranoia about it. So every time I forget a word for a moment, I think, oh God. But I was kind of relieved when I watched a video from a few years back and discovered that my explication of things was at least as halting then as it is now, you know, interrupted by pauses and stuff. I'd like to think that if the world were ideal, I could determine how mentally fit I am simply by how fluidly and contiguously I can maintain a train of thought and can carry it through to its conclusion. But the reality is, while live streaming, every time I look at the chat, I am hijacked intentionally by the chat, and that's just how it's always been. There's nothing new. It's nice to have this long history of myself talking on the internet to reference, to compare against, you know. How can we do something about our polars? I think it's generally very difficult for us to do something about our polars, whether we're an INTP or an INFP who has polar extroverted sensing, which means they might be diagnosed as having an executive function disorder if it were to be pathologized, or whether it's FI polar like me, in which it's very unlikely to be pathologized and has, nevertheless, substantially pathological impacts on your life, you know. So for me, for example, it meant staying in an abusive relationship for far longer than I should have, even though I wasn't anything resembling a textbook victim, you know. It was a battle from start to finish, but I should have left it instantly if I had had any sense about anybody with any clarity about their own feelings, with the degree of confidence and self-concept that I had, would have bailed the relationship instantly, normally, except FI polar, I think. So, you know, it's got its harms as well. Let's see what this says here. Is this true that the U.S. is having a food shortage? No, that's not true. Food has gotten substantially more expensive. I take medication which increases the likeliness of dementia, and I have the same fears. Well, you're quite young still, right, Goblin? Wisdo1 says, honestly, brother, just take it day by day. The reality is things like that happening like that are like death. You won't even know if and when it happens. No need to worry about what's not here. You keep. I would say that I will, if it does happen to me, I definitely will know it.
I feel nervous about it too. Because, like I said, it runs in my family also. And there are times when I'm like, it's hard for me to form a sentence because I'm like grasping for words. But also, I try to keep in mind that my SI is just bad. Like, so it's hard for me to be like, oh, is this like dementia? Like, is this gonna be? Is it starting already, or is it just my bad SI? It's really difficult. I hope that. Oh my god. I hope that it doesn't happen to either of us. I hope, you know. Oh my god, what a fucking crazy like. It's just scary, you know, like to think that there's a possibility that you and I won't know each other.
Well, let's not fixate on that.
Okay.
A good question would be, how come ISTP have inferior FE and INTP does too, but INTP are more awkward socially? I mean, it's funny you say you view it that way, Hero. I think of it as being that, but INTPs are cool and pleasant to be around. You know. Uh, did old man complete his chores? Well, I didn't really have a lot of chores today. I did water the plants. Um, Cooking some lunch right now. The real chore that we have is we need to go. I want to go replace those flyers with an updated flyer that the meow's the meow and meow's the meow. You know, you're reminding me of Walter White. Well, Boji 2.2, I'm not the first person to make the comparison. And I suppose it's because I have a hat on and a beard. How do you improve upon inferior FE? I'm not sure. I would suggest that you can't ever improve upon things like that. It's you experience your functions through as frames of attention through which you process the world, and accordingly, fourth slot FE is implied by first slot TI. It necessitates the nature of the relationship. You can't force yourself to have as an absolute value that which you have as an instrumental value, etc. Ultimately, we do get we do we do find ourselves in periods of life where we are more functioning more optimally, and periods of life when we are functioning less optimally. But I think that has a lot to do with circumstances slash a lot of things. Um, it's like I'm functioning more optimally now than I was a couple of months ago. I feel just more grounded, more locked into doing actual things that actually comprise tasks, less floating and waiting for me to have my more clarity about things. Did he just win the gold or what?
I think so. It was really close. Like it really was like extremely close. I couldn't tell.
Was that the
my eyes were on
finals?
him, but
That was the final?
I think so. Yeah.
Let me go back and see that.
He's like.
Yeah, this is the final.
Yeah, and I think that's him.
Yeah, I think that is too.
Oh,
Did
isn't
he
that
get there?
close?
I don't know who got. I don't know who won it.
either. There were like 3 people that could have gotten
Yeah,
gold.
it's crazy. So the thing is, yes, I'm functioning more optimally now than I was a couple months ago. And that has to do with kind of emotional things, distance from change, a lot of different things, but nothing explicitly that can be generalized as a strategy. So, yeah, well, the Athletics did get smoked last night, but the night before they beat the Dodgers. They've played the Dodgers 2 nights in a row, and they've split the 2 games so far. Tonight, I think, is the rubber game, unless it's a 4-game series. No, Geezy, I cannot. I don't know where Spacey is. Do you prefer glizzy in butt? I don't know what that is. Cheered, sir. Cheers. Cheers indeed. Hi, Uncle. What is this place? What do you do here? I do not do that. No. Easy. Hush. I am currently doing cooking. I wouldn't say I have a favorite type. I mean, I guess I could say INFJ because my wife's one. I could say ESTP because my daughter's one. I don't know why they call it that, but they do. Okay, I said zip it already, Geezy. My favorite function. Addition.
Oh, wow.
What happened?
I'm just looking at the BP and I'm like, who the heck got first?
Apparently that guy did. Okay, so we're getting the ground beef to be defrosted, broken into little bits. And that naturally takes a little bit of time. But we're making good progress on that. And we'll just let that continue to simmer away until it's properly ready for the onions. In the meantime, I could start cutting the onions right now.
Eric has magic eyes in that you don't cry when you cut onions.
That's true. Onion cutting doesn't make me cry. What is for you most interesting history period? I mean, you kind of got to say World War II, it seems like. World War II is super interesting. There's this, like, it was really the culmination of millennia's worth of time moving towards the ultimate expression of war, you know? Weapons got gradually better over millennia, etc. And it all led up to the maximum war you could possibly have, World War II. Because, you know, at that point it ends in nuclear weapons, and then you basically say, okay, I guess we've reached the end of the bigger weapons equals more likely to win narrative arc. Thanks, Rachel. And essentially that's what the end of World War II represented, was the end of the we can win wars with bigger weapons part. Because once you get into nuclear weapons, then if your opponents also have nuclear weapons, the cost of victory becomes too high for both sides. And there's no spoils of war even, because everything's all blown up. So World War II was an interesting time period, in part because of that thing I just said, but also because you had such clearly defined good guys and bad guys. You know, Most boards are a little bit more gray area than that. Alright. Before I go any further, I'm gonna wash my hands. I know I did a little bit earlier, but I should wash them a little bit more. Use some of this green apple soap. It smells kind of like green apples, but it's not green apples, it's soap. So just keep that in mind. Don't eat the dish soap. Alright, clean enough. I don't need them to be spotless. Alright. Chop up this bit of onion here. We're going to chop up this bit of onion here. Remember the number one rule of chopping, okay? You're not in that much of a hurry. Just don't cut yourself is the number one rule. If you cut yourself, then your whole cooking and eating experience is like all ruined. Plus, it could be like having an annoying cut for days afterwards so it heals, you know? Yeah, so you definitely don't want that to happen. Whatever else you do, don't cut yourself. Alright. There's some nice onion. Now, we're going to take all of this onion, and we're just going to put it in here. Alright. Let's put this on. Okay, so I started with a little bit too much water today. So I got some boiling down to do. But now that the ground beef's all defrosted, that should happen a little faster. Okay. The other thing I want to do with this beef right now, while there's still some water in the bottom of it, is add a little bit of soy sauce. Because you figure, well, oh, I've got all this liquid already, why would I want to add more soy sauce? The soy sauce will actually make this other liquid boil away faster somehow. I don't know how, but that's just how it is. Add that right there. Now, once you add soy sauce, then the liquid boils away faster. One of those little known folk remedies or whatever you want to call it, you know. They say, oh, that's not possible. But it is possible. Just like that effect where warm water freezes faster than cold water. Nobody knows why, but it does. And when I say nobody knows why, I'm not just talking out my ass here. Nobody's really sure why that is the case. It's been established, but it's difficult to reproduce results exactly time and time again because of the varying possible conditions and people have different explanations, but none of them are really entirely satisfactory. To my satisfaction, anyway. Alright, we put the onions in here with our beef, our ground beef, which also has a little soy sauce in here and some water in here. We're just letting that liquid boil away. Now we're going to get some more moisture released by the onions. So we can just put the lid on this for a while and let it go. But we'll probably also want to scoop any last fresh ingredients in right now, which means you might have guessed what I'm thinking. If you didn't guess, your chances to guess are going to disappear right now. So I'm going to tell you it's this. It's this garlic. So we can use this scooper here to scoop out some of this garlic into the pan. There. Alright, now just stir this around a bit. And we are going to need to season it a little bit more than that. So in order to season it a bit more, we'll put some of this. This is garlic, herb, salt rub for steaks and stuff, but works great in this capacity as well. And there we go. We'll just let that simmer away, earning its pay and eating its curds and whey. We've got a mere 20 seconds left on the rice, which is here, which one will turn off the rice. And we'll let it sit for a good 5 minutes. I'm inclined maybe, because I was sort of right on it with the rice the whole time, like as soon as it meowed, I meowed, as soon as it meowed, I meowed. I might just let it go for another 30 seconds here or so. Or else I'll probably end up with slightly undercooked rice. So just kind of meow, meow, meow for a minute and say like, blah, 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 blah. And then see if maybe about the right amount of time has passed. When you gotta feel it in your gut. How much time? You gotta smell it. I'm gonna stir this one more time. I just feel like it's a little shy on time. It feels like the low fire is a little low. And the hard boil was maybe not quite as hard as it could have been. Alright, there. Now I feel confident. Now I feel comfortable turning this off. And now we just let that sit for at least 5 minutes. Call it 6 minutes. We'll come back and check on this. This should be pretty close to done in about 6 minutes. Maybe even a little less. I might have to come back and check on it before. Let's put this away. Back into the refrigerador, as they call it in Mexico. And then we're going to come back over here and have a rewarding, refreshing, and rejuvenating bone rib. Let's give it a shot. Let's see how the adventure of a lifetime really turns out. This time, for the first time forever, we're going to be doing it again.
This time, for the first time
Forever. We're going to be doing it again.
We're going to be doing it again.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now we've got the chat over here. Polish squad. Go Poland.
Go Poland.
Adam Morzejewski says, my bad, I was kind of a dick earlier. I apologize. Have a good one. No problem. I have no recollection of you being a dick earlier, so. Now I guess now that's something to realize. Was Jesus real? Jesus is real in your heart. Okay? Jesus is real in your spirit. Jesus is real in your mind.
You should make one of those commercials.
Yeah. He gets us, okay? Jesus gets us. No, I don't know what you're talking about, Adam. I'm not sure what you're apologizing for. I didn't see your earlier message. I didn't see the original message that you were apologizing for. I once asked a guy what his favorite art period movement was, and he laughed at me. I would say now, whatever this is. Yeah, there were good guys in World War II, sure. There were the Nazis. They weren't good. There were the Italian fascists. They weren't good. Granted, the Russians weren't good either. But the skirt, as you say, is my beloved and lovely wife, Rachel. Okay, she's not the skirt. It's a little bit like, I don't know, like sexist of y'all. It's like, maybe it's like racist against girls. That's why I'm watching beach volleyball. It's like, hey, I don't even want to watch the guys play beach volleyball. I just want to watch the ladies play it. Why? Because I'm not rude like you about ladies. So anyway, I am currently watching beach volleyball. And depending on the country, the difference between different countries' beach volleyball teams is, I'm talking about women's beach volleyball. Why would anybody watch men's beach volleyball? But depending on the nature of the country is how much more ass cheek you get in the shot. All right, here we go. Right on time. This is sizzling down like grizzling brown. Grizzling Brown being a famous Civil War general who was famous for his dance moves. Alright, so we're really cooking with biscuits now, but this isn't done yet. We want this to brown up a bit more. Get all of that liquid boiled away as much as possible. And this is going to time in 45 seconds. The rice will be done resting, as they say. You have to let your rice rest, just like you have to let your steak rest, but for different reasons. You have to let your rice rest because it's tired. You have to let your steak rest because it's sleepy. Substantially different reasons. So we might use the same word sometimes. to describe both weariness is in fact a symptom of having exhausted all of your physical energy, doing some sort of physical tasks, being physically tired, but one could be sleepy without having done anything at all. Alright. So with that lesson learned, we turn our attention back to this ground beef. Gonna need a little bit more seasoning. You can tell by the smell of it. So I'm gonna offer a little bit of dapples, a few dapples of soy sauce here. That should be sufficient, but if it still smells like it needs a little more seasoning, I'll hit it with another splash of that garlic salt rub that I got for steaks and stuff. Garlic herb rub. Look, it's got salt in it. Inadequately seasoned still. We're going to just hit it with another blast of this. There we go. Now that should be fine. Okay. So we'll let that cook for a little bit, and then we will start plating the rice.
Can I plate my own?
Sure.
Look at this masterpiece, people.
As you see, the rice came out perfectly.
Lovely.
Yes.
Oh, how fluffy.
Mm-hmm. How fine and just and true and special. Okay. And then I'll use a different serving thing for this. I think I'll actually use the rice scooper for this stuff. Here's your plate. Now I would just get some of this. Which is pretty well cooked. I mean, it's fine. This is basically the Japanese dish. I forget what it's called exactly, but it means beef rice. Gyundon or something like that? Is that what it's called? Gyundon? Well, there we have it. Everybody's favorite food, all dressed up and ready to party. Put a little bit of soy sauce around the edges here. A little soy sauce for the rice, you know. Don't go too hardcore with that because they got the beef pretty well seasoned. All right, let's give it a shot. Let's see what it tastes like. Let's grab this cerveza. I'm gonna need a fork. spoon actually is better. And yeah, let's go eat. All right, Rachel, you can plate yourself all you want.
Thank you, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Beach volleyball is the naked and afraid of the Olympics.
It is.
It's all butt cheeks and sand.
It is all butt cheeks in the sand. And they're both choosing to be in that situation.
Spectacular.
You're a wonderful cook. I love you.
Thanks, darling. I love you too. So, hi, Diamond. Mm-hmm. Sandy cheeks. I will tell you, this is a delicious meal. All cooked up. I mean, they're not pathetic at all here, Lamb. They're tough as hell. It's just they endure. I'm naked and afraid is just, I certainly couldn't do it at all. Yes, ground beef, onions, and rice, main ingredients. I've got some garlic in it too. I mean, I don't think the ones that naked and afraid stress or panic particularly. It's very difficult to do, to live out in the wilderness without any clothes and with just a couple of tools for weeks at a time is very, very challenging. They often end up sometimes their whole legs get all swollen from all the bug bites. You know, it's miserable.
And even private parts aren't safe from the wild.
Well, no, Heroine, because in the ancient times, those people, they had their resources, ways, communities. You know, they didn't enter into some totally unfamiliar environment with nothing at all, no clothes, and just a knife and a whatever. They didn't do that either. Also, it's like they start out with no food and nothing in the mix, you know? Like, they gotta make shit happen to get any food at all. You're talking about ancient peoples, they'd keep stores of resources in various places, and, you know, they'd have the benefit of previous generations of the same tribe of people developing good habits appropriate to the area and stuff. I don't think so, particularly, Pretty Cat, but I'm thinking about doing a variety of little things to improve my presence. For example, today I was playing around with a AI video thing that converts your live streams into shorts that it'll then you even have it, I think, auto upload things to certain platforms and stuff. But I wasn't very pleased with the shorts that it generated, frankly. But I kind of blame myself for that because I realized how few complete cogent thoughts that are actually expressed without interruption from me reading something in the chat and getting sidetracked or addressing something like midstream of thought and then continuing after I address it, but it makes it ruined for a short, you know? But I also recognized that I was trying to use this free demo thing to see how it worked, so I had to limit the amount of length of the video that I could include, etc. I don't think that's it. I think it's just if I'm making a short on purpose, I'm very attentive to editing it. I rarely would make a short that just is one chunk from here to here, right? I'd edit out bits in between on the shorts editor. But this AI shorts maker thing doesn't do that. You can edit it manually. I'm not sure. I didn't really look into it too much to see how those editing tools are.
You know, a lot of YouTubers are I've heard many YouTubers say, like, YouTube is really cracking down on things, and also a lot of YouTubers, like, telling their viewers to, like, change their algorithm and stuff. Like, yeah, it just seems to be a little bit like it's a problem for a lot of people.
Well, it's actually wrong here, Lamb. He was not baiting me at all. So I was not taking any bait from Cone Man whatsoever. That's what made him so effective at riling me up, right? If he were trying to bait me, trying to provoke me, he would never have been able to rile me up that often for that long a time period, right? Because I'd be able to see through the obvious provocation. Cone Man was not being provocative. He was being honest. That's what made him so infuriating, right? Okay, he may have tried to bait me on a few occasions, but, you know. Anybody can potentially bait me once or twice in the right moment or something, but I'm generally not very controllable like that. The heart of the goblet who thinks carefully before speaking, the mouth of the wicked overflows with evil words. What do you think of this verse? Just curious. Well, I think both good and evil people may choose their words very carefully for different reasons. You know, good people because they respect the power of language and understand it's important to be judicious in what you say, you know, not say specifically the wrong thing. However, you'll note that has nothing to do with quantity of words. So I'm extremely judicious in what I say, and I don't say the wrong words, but I say a lot of words. So, who would you say is the master of baiting me? Rachel, you're an ESTJ, huh?
Yeah.
So, that's what I think about that is that
part is so interesting. So I ask it to create images of me as like a body type using certain essences that it also came up with. And like it just doesn't it does it really quickly, which is amazing. The time that it's done is like amazing, but it hardly ever really looks like me, even when I give them a photo to base it off of. I'll do it right now.
Explain. Well, who would you say is the master of baiting you?
You?
Of me, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know because I see myself as evolving, right? And so, accordingly, somebody who might have been effective at baiting me in the past probably wouldn't be now. Well, I mean, Ruben, in case you could stay here, we've got guest rooms, you know. Explain the hat, bud. All right. This is a hat. It is clothing for my head, sits on top of my head, and makes my head look better. Anything else you'd like me to explain? The stream yesterday was triggering so much hate. I mean, parts of it may have been triggering, but how is the weather over here? The weather's not bad. What email? Let me see. I don't see any email. So, no email for me. The beard. Explain the beard. It's hair on my face. It makes my face look better than when it doesn't have hair on it.
Is it because of testosterone?
Yeah, it might be because of testosterone. I agree with this beard. Oh, well, I don't see you as triggering me, Elaine, so I don't know. I urge you to clean your plate. Eat up. No, I eat when I feel like it. You don't want to go in the shed right now, Ruben R. You know why? Because the shed has inside of it wasps.
Oh
That's
no.
right.
Does it? Wait, does it really?
Yes, it
Oh
does.
yeah, it does. Oh no.
James Day is back. Says, I'm back, buddy. All right, pal. Welcome back. Alice, what happened? I missed something. What happened? I don't think anything really happened in particular. Nothing of particular note happened anyway. I mean, something happened. Something's always happening, but nothing worth making note of. UBRB then, brainless. UBRB. I could get the wasps if I wanted to. I got a variety of possible ways to deal with it, but I just don't spend much time in the
That's how
shed.
AI sees me.
This is how AI sees Rachel.
It just did that in like 2 minutes. And I don't look like that.
Y'all are always streaming when it's late AF here. Well, it's because it's not particularly late here, I guess. I'm enjoying the Olympics. I've been watching a
Me
lot
too.
of the Olympics, and
It's been fun watching with you.
oops, are INFP ever adults though? That's mean, Hero Lamb. That's mean. Yeah, using AI for fashion combinations does seem to be a perfectly smart enough way to use it. What I did with AI this morning was I asked Gemini how I should, like, what AI clipping thing I should use. And it suggested a few different ones. And um, I tried a couple of them out, but I don't know. I feel as though I'm well situated to utilize AI to repurpose a lot of existing content that I have to good effect. But I don't think I found exactly the right tool yet. And I may just have like too much too much content to meaningfully do that with. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. Maybe I'm just
See,
being pussyfooty about it. I don't know.
I have faith because I was the same way. I when I first used ChatGPT, I was like, I asked it, "Hi, I'm thinking about buying this and that. Which dress should I pick?" And it gave me like a generalized, like, "Oh, I can't do that right now. You should choose a dress based on what you really want." And it gave me some general answer that just didn't satisfy me. So I was like, this stuff sucks. And then it like became smarter and smarter to now where I can upload photos and it actually can give me a description of myself. Like I could be like, what kind of uh, bones do I have? Because I don't know how to answer that.
Or how much does this outfit make me look like Nancy Reagan?
Yeah, right. And it'll actually, using the photo, it will actually say like, um, you should buy this outfit because it makes you look like Nancy Reagan, because Nancy Reagan is known for her red outfits, and this red outfit's not only like Nancy Reagan, but it complements your romantic essence or something. It actually can help me pick out things to buy now, when I'm confused about what to get. And it's not always right, and it is important for people to make their own choices. Like, you shouldn't just go by what a AI says or what a YouTuber says or an influencer says. Like, you should wear what you want, but when you're genuinely confused, it can help a lot. So I went from not liking AI to using it a lot.
ChatGPT lets you upload pictures now.
Mm-hmm.
That's how, Heroin. It's just ChatGPT that she uses. I use Gemini.
Gemini's good though. Gemini's really good.
Like, I asked it to predict the Bitcoin price in 6 months, and it said between $20,000 and $50,000. The current price is 60, so it's saying within 6 months it's gonna lose at least 1/6 of its value. That's what Chat. That's what Gemini predicted. The dude that has the channel Agenda Free TV has been live streaming the last couple of days, simply waiting for Iran to attack Israel. He has a lot of views. Huh. Well, do you think that's suggestive that it's going to happen soon? That he knows something other people don't, or that he's got his finger on the pulse of Mideast affairs, or what? So, I asked Gemini some interesting things. Like, I asked it, well, I asked it at one point to take a screenshot of each of the tabs that was open in my browser window. And it said it couldn't do that. And I said, okay, well, why can't you do this?
Yeah, and that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to ask it.
And so it explained why it couldn't do that. I thought it was a pretty good explanation. It also told me how I could do that easily enough. But after GPT hones in on what I want and gives good results, I like to ask it to create an AI friendly prompt that effectively communicates my request in a form fit for an AI. Huh. Hello, Chow Han UK09. Namaste to you as well. UFO 777, good evening, good day, and good afternoon. Welcome to Talking with Famous People, the internet's only YouTube channel, and therefore the worst.
And the best.
And the best.
Oops.
Some dust got in me, I guess. There are many articles that are predicting an attack soon. The U.S. sent more warships and planes to the region. Welcome to Earth, Mr. UFO 777. I agree. If this is your first time here, welcome. We are Earthlings. We're hit and miss. Here I am, very gentle. Elaine, are you ready for a very gentle man? Here I am, maybe the man for you. I'm very gentle too. I'm a very gentle man.
He is.
What does that mean? It means, for example, I don't throw dishes against the wall.
You don't. You don't. A gentleman wouldn't do that.
I just generally don't throw things.
No, you don't throw things. I actually have more of a I used to have more of a tendency to throw things.
Well, I'm sure they need to be thrown. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Rachel and I have a very calm and peaceful relationship. We don't really have any fights at all. Occasionally we'll be a little grumpy at each other. A fight will be Eric is gentle and effeminate. Well, I am. It's true. Except for my man pole. Ain't nothing effeminate about that. I can, have I ever done smoke bubbles? I'm not sure what smoke bubbles are. You mean like smoke rings, or you mean like blowing a bubble with smoke? I mean, when I was angry enough when I was with Kimberly, I would do things like, pound on shit and slam something with a broom and stuff, because I'd be just so infuriated. But that's not native to me. That was specific to that relationship and her toxic ways. She was incredibly good at making me angry. Somebody asked me, who's the best ever at baiting me? Kimberly. She's the best ever at making me mad.
That's true.
I've never been made so mad by anybody as that woman made me mad. Oh my God. Unbelievably bad. Obviously, I'm not from Pakistan. I'm from California, America. Okay?
Her job was like to bait you.
Yeah, her mission in life or whatever was to make me miserable in every way imaginable. No, my parents are also not from Pakistan. My ancestry is German. Not Pakistani. But that's fine guess. I appreciate yet another distinct comparison. Some people tell me, you look like Mia, you look like Mia. If everybody says I look like somebody different, then I guess I must not really look like anybody. Hi, simple girl.
Hi, simple girl.
German potato. German potato. That's what Goblin's words there mean. Deutsch Kartoffel. Simple girl, it is so wonderful to see you. Nobody's gonna force you to take vitamins, Elaine. I can assure you of that. You're gonna be like, take those vitamins and shove it.
I'm sorry that I haven't been the best partner in certain ways. I recognize that my dopamine hits when I don't when I want one is through shopping, and I really do regret that.
Are you regretting something recent?
No, I'm just.
All right. Well, yeah, it's sometimes, but whatever. It's fine.
I have to work on it.
Yeah, you have already. It's like,
yeah, I have.
You've gotten a lot better about spending money. Elaine, eat your vitamins. Yeah. Henry Jack says, hey, can you do me a favor? Probably not. Do I like sauerkraut? I do like sauerkraut. I think it's good. Certain kinds of sandwiches and stuff, Yeah, all right, fine, Elaine. You got me convinced to take vitamins. Actually, I already took my full allotment of these.
You did?
Yeah, but I'm going to give Rachel vitamins. One of these. We're going to make it simple for you today, Rachel. Just one of those and one of these, and you should be good to go. Because those have B vitamins in them already.
I need as much as I can get, so.
Okay, well, let me give you the other ones then. These ones and these ones. These B vitamins. No, they're not just placebos. But for most people, they probably are. It's just that Rachel and I gave ourselves nerve damage linked to B vitamin deficiencies. So, yeah, I know, omega-3, omega-9. It's like, well, it depends if you have, depends on the vitamin, it depends on a lot of things, buddy cat. And there are different kinds of vitamins that are bioavailable in different forms, But regardless, people have emotional attachments to their positions, all these sorts of things, I guess. So believe whatever you want. I don't care. And that's not uncommon. People have emotional attachments to all sorts of issues that make no sense to be have any emotional attachments to at all.
Yeah,
But
like I feel like a bad partner.
why do you feel like a bad partner?
Because I get my dopamine hits from shopping.
Well, darling, you're not spending too much money. This is one of those things that's like, it's a, it's kind of, it's kind of like if you're spending less than yeah, it's not really a big deal. It's it's acceptable, normal amount of spending, and you know,
I
then they're just separate. Neither is this perfect, Rachel. It's fine. You're being too hard on yourself. Um, you know, I'm not encouraging you to buy more stuff that you don't need, but at the same time, I would just say I'm not thinking about that at all. You needn't worry about it so much.
thank you.
So,
It's just like I get affected by what I watch, and like a lot of like uh what people are talking about is like overconsumption and underconsumption. Underconsumption is a trend now. So overconsumption was a trend where it wasn't even like what it was like people doing hauls. What it started out as was people doing hauls on like Shein or like Old Navy, Zara, like getting a lot of clothes and then influencing people to buy a lot of clothes too. Um, but what ended up happening also was that these influencers would review a product and then like get sponsored or be thanked by the product that they reviewed, and their marketing team would set them gifts of stuff. So it's not really like the overconsumption. I mean, it's not like normal, but it was. I don't know. It was just like an exposure of uh, people getting having a lot of things. And then now there's a trend of people being like, oh, I've had this blush for like a year now and I'm just hitting pan. Like, or just having one body wash that they use, which is like basically like normal consumption in my mind.
well, currently for a little bit longer, we have two different kinds of dish soap. One of them is green apple,
Yep.
and the other one is the new flavor we got.
Yeah, lemon.
Was it lemon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we got two different kinds of dish soap right
Yeah.
now.
Right now, we do have several shampoos with different scents.
Yeah, we do. Well, the thing is, simple girl, it is the case that girls need things, but that's Rachel uh, has at this point. I'm quite confident everything she could reasonably
Yeah.
claim to need.
Yeah.
So, um, but it's also the case that people need to people have their managers, their firefighters, things that they do when they're feeling down to make themselves feel better. It's like I it's just a matter of the scale of the thing. It's fine at a certain scale and it's not at another scale, and it's just managing that. Um, Try some of the Power Wash dish soap. It is very handy and good. Michael Jackson or Whitney Houston, who's more legendary? I mean, legendary is a weird word. I'm gonna go with Michael Jackson, given the term is legendary. That doesn't mean I like Michael Jackson better. Although I do think he's made better music than Whitney Houston has.
Yeah, it's true.
But that's that's not taking into account any of the
Ugh.
sort of various other concerns one might express about either party. So, wow, look at these ladies go.
Yeah, I'm gonna text my dad to see if he's watching.
They're really fighting hard to try to win this volleyball game. Jeremiah, I have friends and family that are FI Tool, and I do need breaks from them. They're sweet, but oh my god, conversations with TI Tool and TE Child are interesting. Try some of the. I read that already. So, and then Elaine says, I think this is the least aggressive flaw that I have. What is the least aggressive flaw that you have? I won. I beat myself. Am I erecting men again this evening, bro? Am I erecting men? I'm not exactly sure what that means, to be honest. It almost sounds like I'm putting up statues in a park, maybe. Or your least aggressive flaw is being FI fool. Yeah, well, because, polar, place of least resistance, is not where you're successful at defending yourself or even attacking. It's where you fail to resist well. Was I alive in 96? Yeah. I was born in 71. I don't remember making any particular big note of it when Tupac died. I remember it being like in the news and stuff, but I wasn't a Tupac fan. And so, accordingly, it didn't stick in my craw.
I don't know many ENFPs in life too, Rubenar. Like it's really I need to sniff them out too because I don't know many real life examples of ENFP except for our neighbor Les.
Well, here Lamb says the following: whatever type talks the most is my least favorite. Good way to annoy me is a blabbermouth. All talk, no action type person. Gossip and BS. Well, I talk a lot.
I kind of gossip. I gossip.
I mean, you don't gossip, but you read gossip about
yeah,
celebrities.
like celebrity gossip. So I am into celebrity gossip.
That's not gossiping. Gossip is like, did you hear Elaine and Chris broke up? They are going out and then they're not anymore. What happened? No. What I heard is that she sent him a cactus and it died because he didn't water it and she got really mad and that's why they broke up. Rachel gossips about Eric. I'm pretty sure she doesn't gossip about me.
No, sometimes I'll just be like...
She probably talks about me.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think she gossips about me.
No.
If you're gossiping about your spouse, that's not a very healthy relationship.
I mean, I don't think they're still together.
No, they broke up. They are broken up. In part because J-Lo was all up on Team Diddy.
Yeah. That is the thing that people are...
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
That's the rumors. That's the goss. That's the hot goss.
I mean, it is it was unwise for Ben to think that like J-Lo had changed in the 20 years that they've known each other. That's what they say, that Ben thought that she was like a different person, but like that she's just doing the same shit she's always done. Like, how could you expect someone to like change? I don't know. People, not everyone changes. Some people are the same way their whole life.
So, usually they're an ex for a reason.
Yeah, and I think last time they were an ex because of him. Like he had issues. I believe he was going to like the strip club and stuff too much.
He was going to the strip club!
Yeah. I actually did feel bad for her back then when they broke up. But I think her high maintenance was just starting, right? Like, she had been in a few, like, big movies, and she had, like, at least 2 hit albums at the point, so her star was rising. And he was, like, you know, like, the Hollywood, like, playboy of the time.
You want to hear some hot goss? One time I was dancing at the strip club, and Ben Affleck put $100 into my G-string, and then Jennifer Lopez ran in and took it out of there and replaced it with a $5 bill.
Oh my gosh! Wow,
It was
how
so
cheap!
rude, so rude.
It
I
is
couldn't
so
believe
rude. Yeah, no, she has a reputation for not being a nice person.
I don't know if I'd ever told Rachel that story before, actually, but yeah.
I'm.
It happened
I
just
can't be
before we
mad.
met. Just right before we met.
I
it
mean,
happened.
that's life. You've but definitely lived.
Yeah, I've lived some crazy lives. I was barely alive when Abe Lincoln was shot. The second time. A lot of people don't know this, but Abraham Lincoln, the whole Ford's Theater thing, he faked his own death. Yeah, he was shot some 40 years later. He lived to a ripe old age and was shot in a hunting accident near Yellowstone in 1972.
He lived for a very long time.
Yeah, he lived for a long time. 1972, he died.
Wow. What, you didn't want to be president anymore?
He just said, "Look, if I'm assassinated, the South will be like, okay, well, we got our strike back, so I guess we'll just be okay with losing the war now." Whereas if he was still around, then the South would have just continued fighting on forever. So he did it for the good of the country.
Wow,
Yeah.
what an old man.
Yeah. These are little known facts about history that few people know. But I know. How do I know? Because one day I was in my backyard and I found an ancient book buried in a secret case deep in the yard, and it told the true history of the world. That's not where I heard about this Abraham Lincoln thing, though. Like, wow, you really choose emotional forcefulness. Damn, I sometimes wish I could do that, but also that's so weird, XD. Or is that some kind of like backhanded compliment? I like the way you aren't afraid to be rude and mean.
But
No, but. I don't have an OnlyFans page.
no, he does not.
I want to start a website called No Fans.
What do you do? Just this?
Yeah, it's just this. Except we got an AI to edit out only the worst parts of this.
Can I have a suggestion for it too? Instead of taking off your clothes, you put more on.
Right? I put on more clothes, and I do something kind of like this, but it's just kind of like me watching TV.
And you reacting to the TV even though they can't see it.
Oh, are you serious? And everyone's like, I wonder what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Is it true or gossip that Rachel married me for my OnlyFans talent? That would be gossip. Not true. All right.
That is gossip.
I've not had an OnlyFans ever. I've not had fans preceded by any of the quantifiers. All, no, only, some, none of the above. Have I done an ASMR video? Probably. It probably sounded a little something like this. Listen to the sound of your scalp erupting in pleasure. Like that. You're going to the Texas dispensary? You don't like going in there? We're going to rip the Band-Aid off. Why don't you like going into the Texas dispensary? Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, says Elaine. Elaine, you're getting too sensual about this. It's okay. I spoke quietly, right? It's okay, I'm whispering. It'll be fine. See? It was fine. You were so scared, and then it turned out to be just fine. It's a lot of tease. Don't. Speaks quietly, carries a big stick. That was Teddy Roosevelt, I believe.
Yeah, that was Teddy Roosevelt.
But in his analogy, it was America, I think.
Yes, it was.
You're gonna flag me for mouth abuse? You mean mouth abuse? Am I abusing you with my mouth? OnlyFans to me seems like desperation for cash. Shameful in my opinion. Well, I would say that it is definitely not for me. It's not for me as a producer of content, and it's not for me as a consumer of content. I want nothing to do with it. Teddy Roosevelt was actually circumcised by a buffalo. That's how tough he was.
By a buffalo? Wow.
Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? She will just enjoy making content. Don't be a prude. Right. Well, and I'm not judging people who I could imagine, people will be like, we're exhibitionists. That'd be perfect for exhibitionists. Because you could exhibit without having to go to some seedy real world place. You could exhibit safely, but I'm not an exhibitionist, so. I'm a have regular sex with my wifist. You gotta pick one, you think? Well, I mean, if it's a married couple that's just making content with each other, then I don't think it's not for me, but they could just be people who, like I said, are exhibitionists.
I can definitely say that I'm not.
I'm not.
We were in pitch black.
Right.
My boobs were out, and I was like, and even then I felt exposed, even though no one was around and no one could see me.
And it was super dark in the nighttime, and we were just up on our driveway. I was liberating her boobs from her shirt. And she didn't like that. She's like, I feel exposed.
I did.
So we put them back inside of her shirt.
But I believe we took them back out when we got back home, so.
Yeah. The thing is, of course, it's not like I want to expose her either. It's just I had more faith in the cover of darkness and the lack of people around than she did. Okay. Robert, believe you ever say anything that's not offensive and or gross? Did I marry Rachel for her sweet nunchuck skills? No, that was just a pleasant surprise. That was just a happy bonus for me when I learned that, wow, this woman's got some sweet nunchuck skills. I'm just like, and a bag of chips? I see. Well, Putty Cat, that I believe I have heard that joke before. Did you read my sentence? In my opinion, let's see what Simple Girl said. In my opinion, yeah. You know, in Ivar's defense, he didn't say it was directed at you, but Robert. So, I think we should go probably replace those posters. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm on that with you.
Rather than, if we're gonna replace them at all, better do it sooner than later.
Yeah,
I think.
I agree.
Which means we have to bring that poster up here. We do have more paper we bought at the store.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's just put it at this. Let's just put this. Piao, 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 piao. We'll put this at piao. Piao. All right. What do you think? Just leave it like that?
Yeah. No, don't leave like that. Those pictures should not overlap.
Oh, wait. I didn't even see there were two pictures there.
Yeah, that's good.
Right, no. Put it over here. That's fine. And then, yeah. And I could just go like this. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's put a new paper into the printer.
Where's the new paper?
It is on the table in the dining room. I will get it. I will get it with my. Cause you can't be both a hoe and a housewife. That's what Hero Lamb says.
A hoe and a housewife?
In other words, what he's saying is you can't both be like, I'm on OnlyFans, but I'm also a housewife. But I said, well, you know, if you're just doing that with your husband, I guess you could be. But, you know, I agree it's not my thing. I'm just trying to strike a balance between.
I believe in you.
Trying to strike a balance between, like, judging and being open-minded.
I know, it's very hard. There was this YouTuber who was saying he was like, he thinks it's not smart for young people to think that their partner hasn't possibly had an OnlyFans or something. Because it's so common now.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, I don't know. Let's do this paper stuff. Alright, Scott,
You
paper
want to
free.
film it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Where do we put in the paper?
Underneath.
Underneath here.
You could. Yeah. But you could also do it from the top.
Wait. I messed up. Did I like put it in the wrong place or something?
Oh no.
Oh no, what happened? Right there. Hold on. There. What do you think about that? I got it.
He got it, everyone. And I'm with you, Elaine. I mean, everyone has the right to turn their life around. I agree with that. Maybe I lost paper.
Okay.
Why is this so difficult? Lone Wolf says, I need the manual for this.
Alright, let's try to print something out now. Let's do it. Let's do the true adventure. The true adventure of living. Here we go. Pow, pow.
Gustavo Carrillo Lopez says, sick cat.
Thanks. I made it out of your grandma's pubes. That's where this hat came from. It took me 6 weeks to weave it.
It's the new age of technology, people. Simple Girl asks, why are you changing out the posters?
Because I think I realized that we're better off putting it at the price without including garbage and water in it, and just having them pay that, because if we try to be like, it's say, well, we could try to include a whole bunch of things, right? Comes with internet, and it's $2,500 a month. Well, people are just gonna see $2,500 a month, right? So we'll put it at $2,150, and they'll just have to pay for that stuff themselves, and it'll be the same amount for them, but it'll look better to people, I guess. It'll be a little bit cheaper, I guess, right? Drop $50 off of it, off the net price. So, anyway, that will make it more appealing. To a variety of people. That's my guess. And then if we don't get much action on these posters, then we will consider putting an ad in the Mariposa Gazette and or maybe the Merced, some sort of online listing service or something.
Yeah.
Some of that sort. All right, so are you about ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me put this
Mama said don't fall in love again. She remembers all that I forget. I'm thinking of that song because Johnny posted a video, of his mom doing axe throwing. And she hit it right on the target.
Good for her. Good for her and her axe throwing ways. Among African Americans, they call that ask throwing. I cannot take you with us. Craigslist is still a thing too? Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, Craigslist is definitely a good option too.
That was a pretty good joke I made.
You make pretty good jokes all the time, Eric.
Thanks, darling.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Gustavo. These, I got at the store. My partner is not dot matrix, but yes, my printer is also, I don't think, dot matrix. I'm pretty sure they don't have dot matrix printers anymore.
Oh, I don't even know what a dot matrix printer is.
It's the kind of printer that has holes and there's things on the side of the paper. You know, it's got certain things on the side of the paper with holes in them.
So you can put it in a binder?
No, it's so that the little stabs on the printer go through it and move the printer.
And you fold them over and rip them off.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I do know.
It's that kind of printer.
It's 420.
It is 420? Alright, well, we're going to pull a bong rip before we go. And we'll head on out of here like Shea Langoliers. Dot matrix printers are very much still alive, says Tom ago. Oh, what do you know? As we were discussing yesterday, a technology that should still be alive and should never have been replaced by any alternative is the guillotine. If you're going to have an execution, there's no better way to execute somebody than the guillotine. Your next best option is firing squad, I think. But I really do think that we're off like the prom dress, right? All right, that's a good that's a good way to put it. We're physically putting them up in town. Yeah, we've got 5 spots, like 5 community boards. We're putting them up there first. Well, Goblin, if you ask me, if I had to be executed, I'd choose guillotine 100%. No, doesn't require any fancy McGizmos or gadgets. It's reliable. It's quick. Presumably relatively painless. I'm not sure, but...
What are you talking about?
Guillotine.
Oh, yeah.
Execution.
Yeah, there has been talk about how somehow your body does take a second to realize it's not attached to the head, like there's this separation there, but then you're done.
Yeah. And sounds better than the electric chair.
Oh my god, that sounds terrible.
I also understand that to be the case apparently, but still, if you think about all the various alternatives, what are your preferable alternatives? I'm gonna go with guillotine. I just think it's the best of a. Obviously, there's no good way to be executed except to not be executed. But I'm gonna say guillotine seems the best choice among a bunch of bad options, right?
I kind of like the idea of poisonous gas, because like then nothing is done. You just pass out.
Well, I don't know if you pass out. It's probably some sort of horrible, like nerve gas death thing,
Oh, that's true.
Morphine overdose, okay. But it seems like then you miss out on the actuality of death or something. Okay, Goblin. The chickens are known to have evolved to live a long time with their heads chopped off. Because people have been chopping the heads off of chickens for such a long time, they have evolved to live ever longer time with their heads chopped off. Okay, atom bomb. Ruben picks atom bomb.
Honestly, I was thinking the same thing, Ruben.
Atom bomb's not bad.
Every single time.
But I mean, you'd have to have a pretty small atom bomb if it's just gonna execute you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dropping from altitude without a parachute. That's a possibility. So you mean like jumping out of a plane without a parachute? I mean, you could go skydiving and just not pull it, you know?
Yeah.
I guess. But that's if you're not being executed, though. If it's an execution, then they fly you up and push you out of the plane.
Wow.
Well, I'll still take the guillotine.
I think guillotine is.
All right. Anyway, thanks everybody for being here, and we'll see you later.